Okay, Stewart, we need to start planning our paper on public libraries. Have you thought of an angle yet?
Well, there's so much we could look into. How library has changed over the century, for instance, or how different countries organize them. What do you think, Todi?
Maybe we should concentrate on this country and try and relate the changes in libraries to external developments, like the fact that far more people can read than a century ago, and that the local population may speak lots of different languages.
We could include something about change in the source of funding too.
Yes, but remember, we're only supposed to write a short paper, so it's probably best if you don't go into funding in any detail.
Right? Well, shall we just brainstorm a few ideas to get started?
Okay, we obviously need to look at the impact of new technology, particularly the internet. Now that lots of books have been digitalized, people can access them from their own computers at home.
And if everyone did that, the library would be obsolete.
Yes,
But digital list books that are available online for free are mostly out of the copyright, aren't they? And the copyright in this country lasts for 70 years after the author died. So you won't find the latest bestseller or up-to-date information.
that's an important point. Anyway, I find it hard to concentrate when I'm reading a long text on a screen. I'd much rather read a physical book, and it takes longer to read on a screen.
Oh, I prefer it. I suppose it's just a personal preference.
I expect that libraries will go on evolving in the next few years. Some have already become centers where community activities take place, like local clubs meeting here. I think that'll become even more common.
I would like to think so, and that they will still be serving traditional function, but I'm not so sure. There are financial implications after all. What I'm afraid will happen is that books and magazines will all disappear, and there will just be rules and rules on computer. They won't look anything like the library we are used to.
Well, we'll see. I've just had an idea. Why don't we make an in depth study of our local public library as background to our paper?
Yes, that would be interesting. And rest or short or issue. Let's make a list of possible things we could ask about. Then work out some short or structure. For instance, we could interview some of the staff and find out whether the library has its own budget or it's that controlled by the local council.
And what their policies are. I know they don't allow food, but I'd love to find out what types of noisy they ban. There always seems to be a lot of talking, but never music. I don't know if that's a policy or it just happens.
I have often wondered. Then there are things like how the library is affected by employment law. I suppose there are rules about working hour, facility for staff, and so on.
Right. Then there are other issues relating to the design of the building and how customers use it. Like what measures does the library take to ensure their safety? That need floor coverings that aren't slippery and emergency exits, for instance. Oh, and another thing, there's the question of the kind of insurance the library needs to have in case anyone gets injured.
Yes, that's something else to find out. You know something I have often wondered?
What is that?
Well, they've got an archive or local newspaper going back years. Well, next to it, they've got the daily or a well-known Polarization from the last 19th centuries. I wonder why it's there. So do you know what his connection was with this area?
No idea. Let's add it to our list of things to find out. Oh, I've just thought, people might ask in the library about local organizations like sports clubs. Well, I wonder if they keep a database or whether they just look online.
Right. A quite fantasy finding out what the difference is between a libraries that open to the public and one that part of a museum. For example, they must be very different.
Then something else I'd like to know is